Hello, everyone. My name is Mike Moran, author of the Believers superhero novel trilogy. Today we are in Book 2, Chapter 21, A Vile Invitation. Tap. Really? Thump. Come on. Thwack. Getting better. Boom. Jerry landed a wallop that sent Vaughn flying across the room. His body slammed into a nearby metal wall and put a dent in it. He stood up enthusiastically and shouted, "That's what I'm talking about! Give it all you've got, Jerry. You can't kill me, remember?" Jerry and Vaughn were having a thrilling battle. Vaughn has the unique ability to read people's surface thoughts, which lets him know what his enemy's attacks are before they happen. Then he can block or dodge them easily. However, Jerry has super speed, teleportation, and other powers that allow him to throw multiple attacks in quick succession, making it nearly impossible to block or dodge everything. Jerry likes to mess with Vaughn by tapping or hitting him lightly, but when Vaughn gets angry and asks for real damage, Jerry happily delivers. Thankfully, Vaughn's body naturally heals from most attacks and he can't die, so Jerry can pummel Vaughn all day without feeling guilty about it. Megafist was training alone by punching a large metal plate. He would punch and dent the front side, then walk around and punch the back side, denting the metal plate back into its original form. Metal Megafist missed Blake, who was training with his NFL football team. Alina and Agent X were talking inside the computer room while watching the boys train. Agent X was giving her lots of information, then quizzing and teaching her in preparation for her future FBI job. Cynthia, however, was very focused and paid close attention to Jerry's combat moves, all while analyzing training data being collected by cameras and computers. Cynthia felt happy and useful when borrowing Jerry's powers, but they also gave her headaches, which motivated her to learn more about him. Maybe I need to understand him better in order to use his powers correctly. I definitely understand his heart and emotions, but combat has always been something I let Jerry take care of. What if there's an emergency in the future? What if something happens where I'm forced to fight using Jerry's powers? All these thoughts weighed heavily upon her while she watched Jerry train with Vaughn. Ice cream, come and get it! Enjoy my latest flavorful creations! Mr. Cream announced as he set up bowls of ice cream on a nearby table for everyone to enjoy. The believers all gathered at the table and picked their desired treats. Cynthia, however, was anxious and full of questions, so she pulled Jerry into the computer room where they could talk privately. As they walked away, Alina jokingly hollered, "Get it, girl!" Jerry and Cynthia ignored the comment, but Vaughn laughed and gave Alina a thumbs up, then thought to himself, "I kind of like her. Maybe I should try." Vaughn moved a little closer to Alina and talked with her for a while, trying to impress her with unpredictable and funny conversation topics. Meanwhile, Jerry and Cynthia talked behind closed doors. "Jerry, I wanted to ask you something. Have you always known that I could use your powers?" "I honestly never thought about it before, but it doesn't surprise me." "Really? Why not?" Jerry looked down shyly and replied, "Well, because I trust you, and we share everything. We're like two puzzle pieces, connected for life, with no boundaries or walls. Whatever's mine is also yours, powers and all." Cynthia blushed and asked, "Do you really mean that?" "Of course, but my powers aren't a toy. I'll have to train you personally to make sure you can handle it." Cynthia giggled and asked, "Does that make me your student? Do I have to call you Professor Miller now?" "Ha ha, cute. You can call me whatever you want, but don't get too carried away. Training is going to take time and patience, and there's a stipulation." "What do you mean?" Cynthia asked curiously. Jerry's mind went to a faraway place for a few seconds. Then he looked at Cynthia, took a deep breath, and explained. Remember what happened with Kevin? He got all my powers by complete accident. Then his rage made it nearly impossible to shut him down. I learned a lot from that experience, including how to keep my powers on a leash. So I'll let you borrow my powers when I'm around, but not otherwise. It's nothing personal. It's just a safety measure. I also don't want you to become a target of villains. They won't hold back, and they'll kill you in an instant if they get the chance. Cynthia sensed Jerry's complicated emotions, filled with both love and dire warning. He truly wanted what was best for her, including giving her the means to protect herself and others if Jerry could not do so himself. She heeded his words wisely and replied, I promise to train extra hard and follow your every instruction. I won't abuse your powers, and I'll only use them to protect our friends and family. Jerry gave her a long hug and said, Thank you. Cynthia sensed a heavy weight in his heart, as if he were both scared and relieved to have someone to share his powers with. Vaughn, Blake, Megafist, Mr. Cream, and others in the world gained his powers by accident. But this time, Jerry was choosing to share his powers with someone special, someone he could never live without. He did not want to make difficult decisions anymore, choosing to save her life over others. He wanted to empower Cynthia with the ability to defend herself, so Jerry could be the hero he needs to be. Cynthia had one last question to ask. When are we going to tell the others about Dr. Diaz? Jerry looked down with a heavy heart and answered, I don't want to tell them yet. They're all happy, training, talking, laughing, and living in peace. We also recently lost Leah, so I don't want to bring more burden upon everyone. Is that what Leah and Dr. Diaz would want? For us to keep secrets from each other? No, but trust your friends, Jerry. Tell them the truth and help them through it. Together, we can handle this. Jerry nodded in agreement, then held Cynthia's hand, and they walked out together, ready to tell their friends about Dr. Diaz. As they approached the other believers, Jerry's phone rang loudly and caught everyone's attention. They all stared at Jerry as he picked up the phone. It was Blake, and Jerry put him on loudspeaker. Yo, Jerry, I got big news. You and all the believers got free tickets to my NFL football game tonight. You all gotta watch me play, and they're gonna honor Leah at halftime, so everyone has to come. No excuses. All the believers started cheering with excitement, except Jerry and Cynthia. They looked at each other in silent agreement, knowing that this was not the best time to tell everyone about Dr. Diaz. Everyone said their goodbyes and went back home to shower and prepare for the football game later that night. Hours later, Jerry and Cynthia were dressed and ready to go, wearing matching jeans and casual sports shirts. Mr. Crane got hired to sell ice cream at the football game, so he had to be at the stadium earlier than everyone else. Megafist lives close to the stadium, so he agreed to meet everyone there. Cynthia called Alina and made plans to pick her up on the way to the stadium. However, Vaughn was hanging out with Alina at her place too. Cynthia hung up the phone and gossiped with Jerry. Jerry, you'll never guess who's at Alina's house right now. Her parents? No, Vaughn's there. What? Why? Jerry asked in surprise. I think Vaughn's trying to date her. That makes no sense. He was complaining about Alina the other day. He was jealous that Alina was getting more attention and a job offer from Agent X. Well, I guess he got over that because now it looks like we're going on a double date, Cynthia declared. Jerry shook his head and laughed while Cynthia took her keys out to unlock her car. Before opening the door, however, Cynthia smiled and asked Jerry for a favor. I want to do something cool, something that'll surprise everyone. Can you teach me how to teleport? What? Like right now? Yeah. Better time to learn than the present, right? Cynthia suggested. Okay, Cynthia. I'm letting you know that it takes a lot of energy for beginners. I think I can handle it. Hopefully. Tell me what to do. Jerry took a moment to think, then held Cynthia's hands and began to explain. First, you close your eyes. Then imagine your own energy wrapping around both you and me. Cynthia was a fast learner. She made her energy aura radiate brightly to envelop Jerry and herself. Then Jerry continued his lesson. Now try picturing Alina's home clearly in your mind. Once you've got it, use your energy to make us appear there, as if you're adding us to the picture in your mind. By the time you see us both in the picture, we should be there in real life. Cynthia took a deep breath and followed Jerry's directions perfectly. It was easy to picture Alina's home, but very difficult to add Jerry and herself to the picture. It felt like her mind was straining itself to the limit, like a slow computer struggling to complete a difficult process. Eventually, she opened her eyes and they had arrived. Cynthia and Jerry were standing together in front of Alina's home. Seconds later, Cynthia felt fatigued and dizzy, but Jerry held her up for support. Are you okay? Jerry asked worriedly. I feel a bit weak, but I did it. We're here. Yep, you did it. Now promise me you won't use my powers any more tonight. I want you to have fun. You'll have plenty of time to train in the future. Okay, okay, I'll give it a break for now, Cynthia conceded while trying to regain her composure. Jerry smiled, feeling happy that Cynthia was a natural when utilizing her new superpowers. She's got a great heart and a powerful spirit, Jerry thought to himself as they walked to the front entrance of Lena's home. It was a one-story home with decent landscaping and a driveway, but no garage. Cynthia knocked on the door and Alina opened up right away, hugging Cynthia graciously and inviting them inside. Alina quickly introduced Jerry to her mother and then dragged Cynthia to her bedroom. Vaughn got up from the couch and gave Jerry a fist bump. Vaughn was proudly wearing jeans and his old college football jacket, perfect for the occasion. Alina's mom was a short Cuban woman, very funny and straightforward. She and the two boys made small talk while waiting for the girls, who were probably gossiping and freshening up. Jerry learned that Alina's parents are divorced, and she lives with her mother. The situation was similar to Vaughn, who lives with his father, except that his mother died. Alina's mom offered refreshments to the boys and walked away to retrieve them. While Alina's mom and the girls were gone, Jerry began whispering to Vaughn. How'd you get involved with Alina? Vaughn grinned and gave a bogus answer. I totally spat the best game ever and swept her off her feet. Then we walked across the ocean and danced under the stars. It was easy. Haha, sure, sure. That's exactly how it went. Now give me the real story, Vaughn. Fine. The real version's much better anyway. I tried outsmarting her using my mind reading superpower, but she has mind reading powers too. We played mind games and we were neck and neck for a while. Eventually, I got tired of the games and straight up asked her out. She agreed and asked me to pick her up for the football game tonight, but she also laughed a lot. So I'm not sure if we're dating right now or if this is just another game. Jerry couldn't hold it in and laughed while covering his mouth. Alina's mom walked over with cups of water, and the girls came out, ready to go. They all asked why Jerry was laughing, and Vaughn cleverly responded, because I'm the funniest guy in town. That's why. Alina laughed and replied, Oh yeah? Why don't you do stand-up comedy at a club one night? I'll pay to see you make a fool of yourself. Maybe I will, Vaughn remarked as he accepted her challenge. Cynthia giggled, enjoying their competitive spirit, and thinking that maybe they'll make a great couple after all. The boys chugged their water cups, then everyone said goodbye to Alina's mom and jumped into Vaughn's car. It was a short 15-minute drive to the football stadium, but they laughed and talked the whole way there. Alina was wearing a football jacket for the team playing against Blake tonight, which sparked controversy and bets between Alina and Vaughn. Jerry and Cynthia enjoyed their sports banter, but they also wanted to tell them about Dr. Diaz. Unfortunately, it didn't seem like the right time or mood. They finally arrived at the football stadium and it was huge. Numerous cars were waiting in line for parking and thousands of fans were entering the stadium. Once inside, the boys went to buy food, while the girls found their seats on the second level next to Megafist. The stadium had 3 levels, air conditioning, and a dome on top that opens and closes for weather and special events. The boys soon returned with burgers, hot dogs, fries, and drinks for everyone. They all got excited when Blake and his team came running onto the field. Alina devilishly cheered when the opposing team appeared, and Vaughn began a cheering contest against her, rooting his heart out for Blake throughout the game. Jerry and Cynthia enjoyed themselves and agreed to tell their friends about Dr. Diaz another day. Blake made some sick tackles and QB sacks throughout the game. Jerry watched closely and pointed out to Cynthia whenever Blake used his superpower. Blake would close his eyes for 3 seconds, take a deep breath, and wait for the opposing team to hike the ball. Then he blitzed the offensive line, plowing through players to sack the quarterback. Blake hit one guy so hard that his mouthpiece flew out of his mouth and hit the ref. Cynthia asked Jerry why Blake couldn't use his superpowers for every play. Jerry reminded her that it costs energy to use superpowers, and Blake needed to keep his stamina up for the whole game. There's also football strategy, and knowing that blitzing the QB is not always the best play. Cynthia learned a lot about her new powers by watching Blake and listening to Jerry's advice. Halftime finally arrived, and it was spectacular. The dome above opened up, revealing a night full of beautiful stars. A marching band walked down the shape of a heart that encompassed most of the field. Their drums and horns were powerful, making the seats vibrate in the stands. Then a famous female musician was rolled out on a stage into the middle of the heart. She danced and sang, raising the spirits of all the fans in the stadium. She sang all her popular songs, and then she paused the show. Everyone cheered her on, hoping for a wild finale. But she gave a short speech first. I want my final song to pay tribute to a one-of-a-kind girl. Her name was Leah, and she was only 13 years old when tragedy claimed her life. This girl was born a star, bright and beautiful, but raised in the shadows of our city, living most of her life in foster care without loving parents. She also had cancer and was slowly burning out, just like a star. All hope seemed to be lost until Jerry Miller and the Believers found her. They immediately took her under their wings and gave her everything she ever wanted. They made all her dreams come true, and she died happy, but far too young for my liking. So, Leah, this song is for you. I hope you're enjoying your new life in heaven, but take a moment to enjoy this brand new song that I wrote just for you. The crowd ecstatically cheered, relishing every word and beat of the new song. It was full of passion, expressing love for all young people who lived and died before their time. Fireworks shot up and lit the night sky. Cynthia cried and Jerry held her to his chest, barely keeping his own tears at bay. He assured her that Leah was happy now and surely listening to this once-in-a-lifetime song. Towards the end, Jerry received a message on his phone from an unknown source saying, "That song was awesome." He was confused because he did not know who the message came from, but it made him happy and reminded him to text Blake. He thanked Blake for this incredible tribute to Leah. The football field was mostly cleared, and everyone thought the players would rush back onto the field, but something ominous began to stir. 3 people instantly appeared in the middle of the field, and deep fog emanated from them. The fog quickly spread, and a loud male voice echoed throughout the stadium. It sounded exactly like the masked villain Jerry and Cynthia met in the apartment a few days ago. Hello, wonderful citizens! The real show is about to begin. Have you ever wanted to be on TV? Imagine a scene where all of you are having a great time at a football stadium, and then a catastrophe occurs. A battle between heroes and villains breaks out, and an explosion kills everyone. Can this really happen? We'll find out soon. Those words felt too real, too honest, and menacing. Jerry followed his gut and spread his arms, summoning a large amount of non-lethal energy. Then he clapped his hands together and created a shock wave that blew all the fog away. In the middle of the field, he clearly saw Darcy, Porter, and Inferno. Inferno was already charging up for a massive energy attack, the same way he did at the apartment a few days ago. Megafist suddenly jumped off the second level. Using his super strength, he leaped towards Inferno with his enlarged fist cocked back, ready to smash Inferno's face and disrupt his energy attack. Unfortunately, Porter instantly appeared next to Megafist and teleported him away. Megafist was gone. Porter soon reappeared, teleported away with Darcy, and reappeared again next to Inferno. Fans were already panicking, and both Alina and Vaughn tried their best to help people evacuate safely. Jerry knew there wasn't enough time for evacuation because Inferno was about to explode and kill everyone in the stadium. Since Porter was guarding Inferno, Jerry had to play it safe and protect everyone in the stadium without getting close to Inferno. Jerry also knew that he couldn't do it alone, so he looked at Cynthia and said, "Use your powers to protect everyone on this side of the stadium. Watch for me on the other side of the stadium and copy exactly what I do." "Got it," Cynthia responded confidently, even though she was freaking out on the inside. Jerry teleported and appeared on the opposite side of the stadium. He spread his arms outward and began creating a colossal shield wall made of pure energy. It was glowing blue and extended around 3/4 of the stadium. Cynthia stared at Jerry and followed his actions, soon creating her own energy wall as well. She struggled, feeling her mind bending out of shape, but she managed to connect her wall to Jerry's and held on tight. Inferno's energy reached its peak and he exploded. The fatal energy erupted outward, slamming into the energy walls. Fans watched their lives flash before their eyes, praying the energy walls would hold. The fatal energy clashed with the walls, trying to force their way through. The energy walls cracked but did not break, and forced the fatal energy up into the night sky. Once again, the night lit up like the 4th of July, but this time, nobody died. The smoke cleared, the villains were gone, and everyone cheered for Jerry and Cynthia, forever grateful that they all survived. Cynthia smiled, feeling like a true hero, and fell unconscious. Jerry flew over to her and checked her vitals. Cynthia was fine, but she overexerted herself and needed rest. He teleported with her back to the FBI training facility and texted all believers and Agent X to meet there ASAP. He also texted Chief Grimes to let him know what happened at the football stadium. Within an hour, everyone arrived back at the FBI training facility. Cynthia had woken up, but she was very weak after using most of her power at the football stadium. Agent X revealed bad news, showing everyone a trending post on social media. There were pictures of both Dr. Diaz and Megafist. They were tied up as hostages. The pictures also came with a message, inviting the believers to come rescue them. Everyone was shocked, but Jerry and Cynthia were more surprised than anyone else. They thought Dr. Diaz was dead, but these pictures say otherwise. Agent X and the believers began talking and considering their options. And that's it. We're done with chapter 21. I hope you all really enjoyed it. I missed you all and I enjoyed making the video. I will try to make more videos in the future. Thank you so much and catch you at the next one.